Right of reply, the honourable member for Thunder Bay, Rainy River.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to close debate on my private member's bill C-501 and thank the House for the opportunity to do so. The legislative process at times can be messy. We know this, and we've seen it with other business presently before the House. But we also know that sometimes, when there is a common interest and a shared commitment among parties, such as between the Liberals and Conservatives on HST, we know that legislation can pass through this place and the other place in as little as 4 days. Bearing that in mind, on June 16th, less than a year ago, every member of every party in this House passed a motion that said they fundamentally share a desire with the NDP to, and I'll quote, ensure that workers' pension funds go to the front of the line of creditors in the event of bankruptcy proceedings, end quote. The Liberal bloc, and yes, the members that sit with the Conservative government, agreed that pension funds must go to the front of the line when a company enters bankruptcy. C-501 is a simple bill, straightforward, that respects and fulfills the unanimous desire of all parliamentarians in this place to put pension funds at the front of a line when the company enters bankruptcy. If members support this objective, then they will support my bill and vote to send it to committee. If a party opposes the bill, then they're going back on their word and they're misleading Canadians. It is really that simple. Today, the Conservative government appears to be sliding back on its word or on their commitment to more than 4.7 million Canadian families who worry every day about their retirement income. This Conservative government and its members who are planning to vote against C-501 or who are trying to stop the bill by other frivolous means are slaves to an outdated ideology that says we must put the vultures and the shadowy backroom financiers, like those who used to work at Lehman Brothers and those who still work at Goldman Sachs, ahead of hardworking Canadian men and women who have earned their wages, who have earned their pensions, and who have earned a dignified retirement. The Bloc Québécois has stood by the commitment they made to working Canadians last June and indicated that they'll support this bill. I thank them for their support, and I hope they'll prove to be reliable supporters throughout the legislative process. The Liberals have made similar noises, but in the past have proven to be, well, unreliable when it comes to supporting workers' rights, or progressive bills or motions for that matter. And I'd like to remind the Liberal caucus that in Finance Committee on March 25th of this year, 2010, the Liberal finance critic and member for Markham Unionville said, and I quote, "The pensions critic for the Liberals and myself as finance critic will be recommending that the Liberal Party support the NDP private member's bill on amendments to the BIA, as in when it comes to the House of Commons," end quote. I thank the honourable member at that time for his remarks, but remind him that he and his Liberal colleagues today that words mean nothing if they're not accompanied by deeds. But the Liberals too appear to have come around to the New Democrat position that pension security must be among the highest priorities in this Parliament. I thank Liberals for their support, if it is forthcoming for this bill, but remind them that in the end, they'll be held accountable by the voters for their actions. And it must be said again that each and every member of this place must live up to the commitment that they made to millions of Canadians on June 16th, 2009, and that they must vote now to send C-501 to committee where it can be properly examined, debated, and perhaps even amended as need be. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I'd like to thank the members of this House who have shared their thoughts, concerns, and support for C-501 during this debate, and I urge them to live up to their commitment on pension security and pass this bill unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is the House ready for the